Don't listen. Hey y'all, my name is Ashley and today I'm going to show you how to make vinegar slaw. So I grew up in a tiny little town in Tennessee, and we had a few places in town that they were barbecue places, and they would give you vinegar slaw on your sandwiches. So I always thought that was just something everybody knew about. Then I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, and nobody knows what vinegar slaw is. So I learned to make it on my own, and I wanted to show you that recipe. The thing about it that's really cool is it's hardly any calories. So if you are trying to watch your calories like I am, it is a good solution. So it's really good on barbecue, but I also like it on hot dogs in place of sauerkraut. It's just kind of like a variant. It's also really good on buffalo chicken, which I'm gonna make in a few days, and I'll film that as well. So yeah, it's just kind of like tangy. It's not very sweet. It's also not spicy. It's just a really nice balance to like spicy dishes or really flavorful dishes. You can also just serve it as a side with pretty much anything. So I'm going to show you how to make that. The issue is that I don't really measure anything. So I'm going to try to measure as I go, and I usually have my husband like taste test it for me. So hopefully it'll all make sense and you'll be able to make it at home. First things first, you will need cabbage. You will need sugar, white vinegar. I have made it with apple cider vinegar before, and it tastes okay. It just gives it a different flavor. So white vinegar, pepper, salt. This sounds crazy, but dry mustard is so good in this. That's it. I'm gonna chop up the cabbage and we'll get started. So I usually just cut the end off, peel a few layers off of it. Good, do one more. And I probably won't do the entire cabbage, but I'll probably wind up doing most of it. And I like mine, so there's a hard part on the bottom, and you just kind of want to cut that out. But I don't like to waste any cabbage, so pretty methodical about getting that hard piece out of there. So I like mine to be like very, very thin shreds. Okay, so we have a pretty rough chop on it. I do like it to be kind of like matchstick thin, I guess. You can also cut it in like chunks, like little wedgie chunks, just whatever texture you really like. The one thing I should have mentioned is you do leave this in the refrigerator overnight. It's best to leave it overnight, at least 4 hours before you eat it, and it will like reduce. So this is gonna fill this container up, but it will reduce overnight, and also the flavors get much stronger. So if you add pepper and you think like, oh, I don't know if I added enough, don't add more until the next day, because I have had it be so strong, like so peppery, that I couldn't eat it. So now you just take all of your cabbage and put it in the bowl. Okay, put that out of the way. Now, here's where it gets tricky because I don't measure anything. I should grab a measuring cup. Okay, so I don't measure anything. Oh gosh. I usually just fill the bowl up, I don't know, about halfway, because what I usually do is I'll leave a spoon with this like on top of the lid in the fridge, and then every time I open the fridge, if I think about it, I'll take the lid off and just toss it around a little bit. So you don't really want your cabbage like soaking in vinegar. You just, you know what I mean? Like you don't want the whole thing like submerged the entire time. So I'm gonna start with about a half a cup, and I'll see what that looks like. But once you do this like one time, yeah, that's nowhere near enough. Okay. You can kind of just eyeball it, which is what I normally do. So I don't really have all of these implements. It's normally just very easy, but I thought you might want to know exactly how much stuff I put in it. So, okay, so that's now a cup and a half of liquid I put in it. It'd be very hard for me to show it to you, but it's about here. So it's about halfway up the bowl, which is kind of what I thought. That looks good to me. So sugar goes in it, which is crazy because it's not sweet, but the sugar just kind of helps the vinegar. So I'm gonna start with half of a tablespoon or a teaspoon and a half. No, I'm doing a full tablespoon. I will put the recipe for this in the comments, in the description, so you don't have to guess and watch me fumble over this. And then just a few cracks of pepper should do. So I don't know if you can tell that, but it's just a few cracks. Probably an eighth of a teaspoon. And then just same with salt, just a little bit of salt. And then I don't know why, I think when I first made this, I was sniffing around all my spices and I smelled dry mustard and I was like, that would work. I think that would taste good. Let's see, I'm gonna do half of that teaspoon. Big John's is the restaurant that I was referring to in the beginning that made this when I was a kid, and they're actually out of business now. So I have no idea how they made theirs. It's just a small little restaurant in a small little town, definitely using my hands. Small restaurant in a small town, and they just had the best vinegar slaw. In true Ashley form, I have used a bowl that is too small. Yes, I do this every time. But it will reduce. Tomorrow it will be so much less slaw. Toss it around. Just kind of mush it in there. I have lost all of my pepper. I don't see any now, so I'm gonna add a couple more cracks. My hands are clean, but this is just for my family, so they don't care. Okay, let's try it. Very tangy. So good. It's really just gonna taste like vinegar on cabbage, but you just have to let it sit overnight. It gets so good, I promise. And the only calories really come from the cabbage and the little bit of sugar. We put a tablespoon of sugar in here. So it's really not many calories at all. Like I said, I am currently like counting calories and stuff and just kind of being mindful of that. So it's just so delicious. It's a really good snack to have. I think that's it. You can always adjust this to your preferences. You could always add a little bit more. I think I am gonna do a couple more shakes of everything just on top, just so it can like sit on top since most of the vinegar's on the bottom. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so that's it for this. Okay, so now I'm just going to put a lid on it. You could also use saran wrap or aluminum foil, you know, obviously. Then, like I said, I will grab a spoon, so a big old spoon, sit it on top and put it in my refrigerator, and then tomorrow this will be ready to eat. And I am using it for meal prep, so tomorrow I'm making my buffalo chicken, and I will eat this for the next 4 days. So, you know, I mean, this is just cabbage. You really can eat it as long as you want to. It doesn't lose its like firmness. It doesn't get soggy or anything like that, like lettuce would. So you can really use it for like a week. You can make a big bowl of it and just eat off of it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.